Morning, Tom.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, which is always a good start.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Tom, just very quickly, I mean, I'm fairly sure some people will be familiar with your name. You're not a newcomer to the plant industry in any way, shape or form. Give us a bit of your background.
Yeah, so my background is predominantly been around the sort of plant hire industry. So I started out way back in the sort of late 90s working for Hewden Stewart. I was just a salesman, repping the streets of London, knocking at doors, going on sites and so forth, and just predominantly hiring out the plant. About 6 or 7 years into that career, I moved across to Hewden Hire Centres, was located at the regional office in London, was regional sales manager for London, and I managed around about, I think it was about 10 depots and around about 8 to 10 salespeople. So that carried on for about 5 or 6 years, but around about that time is when sort of Hewden Hire Centres went downhill a little bit and eventually got bought out by Speedy Hire. I can't remember, way back in, I don't know, 2000 and something, 3 or 4. I can't remember now. It's a long time ago. And from there, I went on. That was my first step into the manufacturing side and working with the manufacturers. I joined a company called Takeuchi Manufacturing. They were looking for a national sales manager for the UK, and they were looking to establish and build their their national hirers in the UK. So I joined Takeuchi, working out of Rochdale initially, and then working at the South Depot in Fatcham near Berkshire. And my job was really to develop the direct accounts in London and also develop national hirers like Morris Leslie, Gap, and so on. And I spent 10 years working with Takeuchi, really enjoyed it. Fantastic product. It really gave me a feel for what the product was all about, because in the early days of selling Takeuchi into London, and not many people known the brand, and people can't pronounce the name, and all they would say, I want that red and grey machine. And it was a real learning curve. So when I eventually got involved with the Chinese machines, I was able to help build the brand there. So basically from there, I sort of moved across to, so after about 10 years with Takeuchi, I moved across to Rototilt UK, which was a Swedish tilt rotator company that had just set up in the UK around about 2016. 2017, and I helped assist build the tilt rotator market. Firstly, I didn't really know much about tilt rotators, and coming from selling excavators and then selling attachments was a little bit of an eye opener. But eventually saw, a way forward with the tilt rotators. I could see there was definitely a market in the UK, especially the Swedish market was so saturated with tilt rotators. And as most say, you can't get a machine on site in the Nordic countries without a tilt rotator being on it. So in the early days of building the tilt rotator market in the UK, very slow, very hard, but it's moved on. It's so from there I sort of moved away. I got headhunted by a Chinese company called Sunward Europe, and they wanted me to establish a dealer network in the UK by selling, obviously, Sunward excavators. The Sunward had been in the UK previously, but to be honest with you, they'd never made any impact whatsoever. So it was my role to really go out there and develop a dealer network that we could sell the machines through, and they could sell on to the end user. I joined around about end of 2019, so it didn't really help when I was sort of went straight into COVID, and that kind of sort of pulled me down a little bit. But by the end of it, I'd sold 200 plus machines. We developed a network of 6 dealers. And from there, I just moved away a little while. I took a little break out of the industry. I had a few family matters to resolve. And then I came back working for a Sunward dealer originally for about a year. And then I got headhunted to work with Lonking. But instead of working for them, I decided to go a different route and set up a distributor. So I became the distributor for England and Wales, and my role now is I'm a joint managing director of a company called LK Machinery, and we're basically importing the Lonking range into the UK. Mainly mini excavators from around about 1 ton to 10 ton is our core market, and that's where I am now.
Well, funny enough, you've been recognised. Our friend Mick has just said, "Oi, you old codger, where you been hiding?" And then he says, "Never mind, you just answered it. Not seen you since the 90s." Now, his name on the screen says Mick Saunders. I think he's Mick Wright, actually. I don't know if you remember Mick Wright, but yeah, he certainly recognises you. Just a very, very quick point on that. I mean, you mentioned the fact that you were with Takeuchi. We've got Takeuchi coming up in a bit later in the show. But Lonking is a name, obviously, I'm aware of it, but I'm not overly aware of it. Where does Lonking stand in the Chinese hierarchy? I mean, we understand that XCMG is the third biggest equipment manufacturer in the entire world now. But obviously, you mentioned Sunwood and Sany and everything else. Where does Lonking stack up?
Yeah, so, well, XCMG's dropped one place. They're now the fourth biggest construction machinery company in the world. So it's all part of the yellow construction table. So Lonking is around about currently at 32 in the top 50. So Lonking has been sort of been running since 1993. They've been, as a company, they've been an OEM for many other manufacturers, and also other what you find with Chinese premium manufacturers, and obviously the brands that we see today in today's market are all premium branded manufacturers. So they are the top tier of the hierarchy in China. But the nice thing about the Lonking is it's the only it's only privately owned manufacturer in China, so it's not part of any government. It's family owned, but the Lonking has been manufacturing a whole array of different products, but they also manufacturing components as well, axles, gearboxes, for an array of different other manufacturers across the world, including some manufacturers in the UK. Their core market really is compaction rollers, is wheel steers, obviously the mini excavators. There are heavy line excavators, and obviously in the UK, Lonking have been around in the UK, believe it or not, for 15 years. But as a manufacturer of forklifts, so they have got a huge market in the UK for forklifts. Obviously, I don't know much about forklifts, so when I got involved with Lonking, I thought they hadn't been in the UK before, but obviously they've been in the UK for around about 15 years with the Lonking forklift range, which apparently they sell around about 1,000 units a year. So that's really where they are. They're an OEM for other manufacturers with their wheel loaders. They manufacture for I won't say too many names, and they also supply axles to other manufacturers of wheel loaders. So and what you find with Chinese manufacturers, they're all OEMs for each other. But yeah, that's roughly where they are.
So whereabouts are you based in the UK?
Right, so LK Machinery, which was incorporated in July, August last year, we're located in a place called Chesham in Buckinghamshire, very nice part of the world, which is easily located from the A41 or across the M25 and M1 sort of corridors, but really strategically placed for the southeast.
Awesome. Now, just to absolutely clarify, we've just seen a pretty big Lonking excavator there. What is the range that you're offering now? I mean, you said minis up to 10 ton, but you go slightly beyond that, don't you?
Yes, so obviously with the UK market for Lonking, Lonking is predominantly mini excavators, albeit they have a heavy line. Their core market for the UK and our core market for the UK is mini excavators from micro 1 ton up to 9 tons. So that's going to be our core market. Obviously, we do have a heavy line. We've got a 14 ton, 22 ton, and a 33 ton, but we're not looking to bring in any bigger than 33. But in all fairness, our core market is really the under 10 ton markets. That's where we're that's my background in the sort of mini excavator side of the market, and that's the area that I really want to grow. We've got to remember we're LK Machinery is a distributor for Lonking. Lonking is not here in the UK. They have got a facility in Poland, but that's purely for parts at the moment.
I'm going to see this one from Dan Cullen. He says, have you sold many machines in the UK? I mean, I guess it's early doors, but have you sold many in the UK?
No, is the honest answer. And the reason for that is myself and my partner went across to Shanghai in September to really get a look at the excavators. I really wanted to sort of put our mark on the excavators. So what I mean by that is I wanted to make sure that they really sort of were a high spec for the UK market, because majority of people that buy the machines under 10 ton are sort of owner operators, and the owner operator wants to get into something that feels a bit luxurious. But we've placed an order back in September, because obviously I made a few changes to those machines. They got delayed slightly. We've got 40 machines arriving on the around about the second week of February for the UK market. So yeah, at the moment sold none, but had a lot of inquiries. Taken a few reserved orders, and hopefully by the time the machines come, I can get some into the UK market and get them out there.
Awesome stuff. Well, you've kind of answered my other question, really. Obviously, we are in the midst of an anti-dumping investigation involving Chinese excavator manufacturers. But I guess this doesn't really apply to you, but partly because you haven't brought any machines in, but also because you're kind of below the threshold as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the dumping of the machines in the UK, and to be honest with you, there are certain manufacturers that are dumping the machines, more so on heavy line, and that's the sort of area that everybody sort of wants to put these tariffs on, is the heavy line machines. For us, see, the difference is Lonking's not located in the UK, so obviously other Chinese manufacturers are already here. They're employing people in the UK. They've got a dealer network in the UK, and obviously if they're looking to grow that heavy line market, so they're looking for market share and growth. Whereas we're not looking at that. We're a very quiet company, not looking to make too many waves. We're just looking to take pigeon steps, and predominantly our market is really under 10 ton. If we get the opportunity to grow the market a little bit, we will go up to a 14 ton machine. But we're not really looking to push big machines. Obviously, if there's an inquiry, we'll take it and we'll facilitate it. But we're not looking to dump any machines, any heavy line machines in the UK in volume.
Good to hear, and also refreshing to hear the fact that it's Lonking itself is not government owned, because I think that's one of the causes for concerns here in the UK. Now, you have a secret, and I can tell you it's a perfect answer to this. Dan Cullen says, "Can you do an open day for operators?" I think you can go one better than that, can't you? What are you doing around about June time? Are you not going to an exhibition?
Who, me?
Yes.
June time? No, because that exhibition's been moved from June to September.
Yeah, I'll keep that in again. Are you doing something in September? And now
we are indeed. Yeah. So basically, Lonking is exhibiting for the first time in the UK at Plantworx. Obviously, they're going to bring in a range, because obviously Lonking are well known for their wheel loaders. They've got the biggest market in China on wheel loaders. They've got the highest volume percentage, and they've got the biggest market in Brazil in wheel loaders. They sell around about 2,000 wheel loaders a year in Brazil. So obviously they want to bring their wheel loaders into the UK. Obviously, we're going to have an array of different excavators. We'll have one or two heavy line, but we're only going to probably go up to maybe 15, 22 ton tops. But the majority of the machines you're going to see are going to be micro to obviously the 2.6 ton, and we've got the new 6 ton which we're launching in April, which is the 60U. And we've got the 9-ton, which we're launching again around about May, June time. So got lots of new machines coming in. Also, the good thing about Lonking is they manufacture really nice skid steer and track loaders, and obviously we're looking to launch those at Plantworx. So lots of things going on around Plantworx for Lonking. It's the first time for them exhibiting in the UK. And I'm looking really forward to it. And I just need to book a hotel now. It's in Newark. It's moved from the Peterborough Showground to Newark, a little bit further away from me now.
It has, yeah. Well, just so you know, there's a guy watching this show called, well, it's two actually, Jim Turner and Chris Ford, who both live very, very close by to where you're going. So if you really find yourself stuck, give them a call, and I'm sure they can put you up in the shed or something.
I think I spoke to Jim Turner at Hillhead. We had a long conversation about it. I think at the time he wanted to buy a Sunward. So we had a long conversation about his business and so forth.
Awesome stuff. Your friend Mick has just said, if I remember rightly, they were formed around about in the 90s. Yes, we already know that. I was told about them around 2010, heard some good reports about them. Good news. One final question. Oh, no, go on, carry on. Sorry,
carry on.
No, go on, you finish your point.
No, I was just saying, like, what we've say with the machines we're bringing here is so with the cabs, we're bringing high spec, we're bringing them in with 7 hydraulic lines, we're bringing them in with dual proportional joysticks, and we're bringing them in with a nice premium cloth operator's seat. And the reason for that is that, a lot of the machines that you see now, especially the 2.6 ton, have got that hard plastic seat which burns your legs in the summer. So we're just putting lots of quality into the machine before we bring them over. And we're making sure that the machine's of a high spec. So if anybody wants to run attachment to tilt rotator, the machine's all geared up to do that, either on the dual proportional joysticks or whatever.
Awesome stuff. I have one final question for you. Just to let you know, Chris Forder says, if you're stuck for a hotel, there's room for a tent at the ranch.
Oh, wonderful.
Bear that in mind. One final question, Tom. Where can people find you? Where can they find out more about LK Machinery?
Okay, so LK Machinery, as we know, is a distributor for Lonking, and we're the official sole distributor for England and Wales. Lonking will be spreading out into Scotland, into Ireland. Obviously, that's got nothing to do with me. That's with them. We've also got 4 or 5 dealers that we've appointed now. People can find me on Facebook. I spend my life on there by the looks of it. So my wife tells me. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can get me on LinkedIn. We've got a website. If you look at my LinkedIn page, I've got loads of information about the Lonkings and so forth, about the specification. I'm always happy to take questions from people. Anybody wants to find out about the machines. Obviously, we've got the machines landing second week of February. We're going to have an open day in March. Or would I say an open day? We're having a dig weekender, so I'm going to have lots of Lonkings all ready to go, so the customers can come along, jump in the machines, get a feel for them. I always like to hear, constructive criticism or negative or positive. I always like to have lots of feedback about the machines, because the only way we can improve something is if we hear it from you guys.
Which is perfect key into Jim Turner, who does remember having the crack with you at Hillhead. I've had half an eye on these Lonkings since they came along. I'll definitely be giving them a once over at Plantworx. Well, you've just made an appointment there, Jim.
Well, thank you very much, Jim.
And Mick says, just out of interest, what steel are they using with the cabs? As I've looked at a lot of the strength cabs the last 15 years, I don't suppose you've got that information to hand, have you?
I don't have that information at hand. What I can say is part of the reason for me going to the factory in Shanghai in September, it was a long flight, don't like long flights, to be honest with you, but I needed to do it. We went through the whole manufacturing side of everything. The quality, what I really liked about the machines is that they're powder coated, painted. The quality of the steel I believe is, I mean, I don't know a lot about steel, but what I saw was quality. The build was quality. I went through the machines with a fine tooth comb. I made loads of changes because I knew the UK customer is high demand, and I wanted to make sure that I had a machine that was met their specification and satisfaction. But as far as I know, the machines are high quality, well built, and robust. And obviously, with any sort of Chinese machine, premium Chinese machine, they're always using critical premium Japanese components like KB, Nachi, and obviously Yanmar Kubota engines.
Awesome stuff, Tom. I wish you every success with LK Machinery,
Thank you
with
very
Lonking. Look forward to seeing you at Plantworx, if not before. If you've got an open day, let us know, because I'd love to come along with a video camera under my arm. Just finally, before I let you go, Dan Cullen just said, I think I met Tom at Heelhead 22, or was it Plantworx? Probably one of the other. He probably asked for a hat. He does that a lot.
I've been probably I've given out so many hats down. It's amazing. I love these shows because you meet people that you don't normally meet, and you can have a real good conversation about the machines and learn about other people's background and experience and life within the plant hire industry or the construction industry or around excavators. So I love shows where I can sort of just get to know people.
Awesome stuff, Tom. I'm going to let you go, let you get back to the day job, because I'm sure you've got a lot to be getting on with. Really appreciate you joining us today.
You're welcome.
Good luck with Lonking and LK Machinery, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, and have a great day, and all the best to you. Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Now.